full Saturday slate concludes with Tormenta going cross-country to take on Central Valley Fuego, presented by Daisy Press. Welcome one and all to the broadcast on ESPN+. We hope you're ready for this nightcap action in Fresno, California. My name is Mark Schoenster. Let's take a look at where these two teams sit in the League One standings. Tormenta currently in 7th place, shifting down a spot after the Chattanooga Red Wolves were able to go on the road in Omaha and get all 3 points earlier this evening. Meanwhile, Central Valley Fuego still at the bottom, but looking to make that push towards that oh-so-important red line by the time the season concludes. Still got about 3 more months to go in regular season action for them to turn the tables and turn the tides. And one player who may facilitate that for Jermaine Jones' side is the youngster, Javier Mariona. Early on in the season, he wasn't seeing minutes. As a matter of fact, he needed to get his minutes in cup competition, and now he's a regular fixture in the lineup. And on Wednesday, he scored his first professional goal. So the work, the promise, the sponge-like learning he's had throughout this season have all culminated to that moment on Wednesday, breaking through for the first time, and now he'll look to build off of it coming tonight as they look to make a surge towards the playoff line. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Pedro Fonseca, one of many scoring options for Ian Cameron's side, but he may be more crucial today as they break through the Central Valley Fuego press. It's going to be about how you make that pass after you get by the pressure, and Pedro Fonseca is more than capable of making the critical pass or being on the receiving end and punching it home for a goal like he did here after ripping off his jersey and showing it to the crowd. He is a goal-scoring savant. We've had some drama across the league today. Will it cap off with some more tonight? Only one way to find out, and that's to stay locked in right here on ESPN+. It's Central Valley Fuego and South Georgia Tormenta coming up next on ESPN+.
At Golden Bear Physical Therapy, our goal is to help you reach the best version of you. We specialize in physical therapy, work injury prevention and rehabilitation, athlete training and sports injury, and so much more. So whether you're trying to get back to work or back to practice, call us today and let us help you.
Back at Fresno State Soccer Stadium, presented by Daisy Press for this Week 15 concluder between Central Valley Fuego and South Georgia Tormenta. The last time these two teams will play in the regular season this year. Let's take a look at the 22 players that are about to take the field for us at kickoff. First off, for Jermaine Jones' side, having to retool that backfield a little bit. 2 different players serving a red card suspension, which means that different faces have to step up to the plate. Ashkanava Pollen and Brian Bustamante slot in to that back line from Wednesday's match against forward Madison. Bustamante, his first start, just played about 5 or so minutes this season total, and now being thrusted in to that back line will have to make a difference in this one. Meanwhile, on the Tormenta side of things, a 4-4-2, and they also have to replace a player on their back line, but for very different reasons. Joshua Ramos slotting in at the right back spot for Nick Akoto. We'll talk a lot more about the Nick Akoto story if you haven't already caught wind. The reason he is not with Tormenta anymore is for all the right reasons. He's now off in Europe, which means he leaves a big Nick Akoto-sized hole at that spot at right back, which Joshua Ramos will look to see if he can step up to the plate and make a difference from that spot now that that position has opened up on the Ian Cameron's team. That'll be Central Valley Fuego in black. Meanwhile, Tormenta in the white uniforms going left to right, the home side going right to left. The fans are all locked and loaded in for Marvel Superhero Night. Our head official, J.R. Campos, donning the green uniform. We'll make sure all the boxes are checked off before blowing the whistle. And we'll wait to see what these two teams have in store for us over 90 minutes. The first 45 on the docket here. Pedro Fonseca, our player to watch for Tormenta, awaiting the go-ahead to get things going here.
We got the signal. It's time for Fuego Soccer.
And here we go. El Fuego y la Tormenta ready to do battle here from Fresno State Soccer Stadium. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster, excited to get this one going for you. Ashkenov, Apollon. Looks like he'll be sitting in the left back spot. Omar Lemus, who played left back in the last game, will move over to the right back spot. And then it'll be Acha Isayaya and Brian Bustamante in those center back positions. Javier Mariona will throw this one in. A lot of waiting to see exactly how the shape will break out for Jermaine Jones's side. Lots of tweaks throughout the season to the personnel, to the lineup, to how they were going to shape up. And then when you throw in, of course, the wrench of having, just by rule of the law, change your lineup, that's only gonna make that tweaking even more apparent game by game. Around 85 degrees in Fresno as it stands right now. We'll see just how much it drops as the night goes on, but not a bad temperature. A little hot, but nothing that these two teams aren't accustomed to, being in Fresno and, of course, Statesboro, Georgia.
Be alert at all times when you're in the spectator arena. Please inform children in your care of these risks. Thank you.
So far, it's been Central Valley Fuego enjoying possession here, trying to get settled into this game. They're the ones who had to have the quick turnaround, flying out to Madison for the midweek game and then flying back. Midense showing some good moves, splitting defenders, playing out wide to Mariona. Javier Mariona trying to beat one man, takes the shot, and diving onto it was Drew Romig. He'll be the one starting between the pipes today for Ian Cameron's side. It'll be his third start in league play this season. The 26-year-old from Midlothian, Virginia. It was a 1-1 draw last time out for the Charlotte Independents in a Jägermeister Cup clash between his visitors here and Mike Jeffrey's team. It's been a couple of 1-1 draws in a row between those two sides. I asked Ian Cameron if there's something about that matchup that just always leaves them so even-handed like that. And he told me, I wish I could tell you what it was, because if that was the case, I'd make the tweak that would help us win those games. But when you just look at the matchup, he says it's two sides that have a real attacking threat once they approach the final line. Now, granted, Tormenta and Charlotte approach it differently once they get to that point. But they both are effective in their respective methods. Felt they had a good start to that game, but when you could see the first goal, obviously it's going to change things. He said, but you know what? Both organizations have a lot of respect for each other. Both are tactically adapting, searching for that edge, and sometimes that means you're going to find yourselves in a draw. A little push on the back from Bustamante, 23 years old. Getting his first professional start. California native. Getting the opportunity to step up. That's always a saying, right? If you can get this opportunity, even though it looks as a bit of a challenge for Central Valley Fuego having some of their pieces out, it's an opportunity for other players to step up as Pedro Fonseca enters the 18. Fonseca takes a shot and scores! Tormenta breakthrough early. And Pedro Fonseca continues to impress. Was able to catch himself behind Acha Isayaya, and then all he had to do was make a move and take a shot once he entered the penalty area. The Brazilian, clinical, and now the road team with the early lead in this affair. Was our player to watch for a reason, and now he has proven that here. That'll be his fourth goal of the season. Second year with Tormenta, and both seasons he's proven his prowess, and seems to be continuing to show his quality in this Tormenta unit. He's the kind of guy, he's not going to rack up and chase the league lead in goals scored, but at any given moment, any given game, you have to be aware of what he's doing, where he's at, not just from a goal scoring perspective, but also by making that pass that can lead to a goal for a teammate. Creating chances as well as finishing them. That is where having some pieces missing from that back line really hurt Central Valley Fuego, because it's not just a matter of, well, we'll have to hold that thought. Fonseca this time. The offside flag will go up, but boy, is he looking dangerous in this game so far. He smells blood in the water. But it's not just a matter of missing a particularly talented player as a member on the back line, but so much of it comes down to familiarity and being in sync with your teammates in that goal in particular. Acha Isayaya way further ahead than other members of his back line, so Pedro Fonseca could just sit in that space and can take advantage of getting a pass there as if he were onside, but he's very much onside. Mariona Plays it back to Jose Carrera Garcia, then passes it inside for Midense. Can Central Valley Fuego find a way to answer? Midense trying to play it towards goal. Brings it down once again. He is so smooth on the ball. Midense takes a shot. And Drew Romig makes the save. But some promising stuff from Alfredo Midense. He just makes it look so casual, so easy, as he shakes by defenders. He had the assist to Mariona's goal on Wednesday on the road against Ford Madison, a tough place to play. A game they lost 2-1. Jermaine Jones after the match said, you know, it was a good game for both teams. We make 2 individual mistakes where we're stepping out and they punish us on the break. And I think till the 1-1 when we scored, we were in the game. And they also had an opportunity that hit the post, and if that went in, it's a completely different matchup, which I 100% agree upon. He said that's something we need to learn from, and the next game is just a couple days away, so they have to quickly take away what you need to take away from that game and then apply it and move forward. There's a look at Jermaine Jones there at the bottom right corner, waving some commands to his team, hoping they can keep composure even going down a goal so early in a game. There's 2 ways to look at it. You go down early and you think, oh boy, here we go, we're in trouble. But also, if you concede early at any given point, obviously you never want to concede, but if there's a time to concede, conceding early gives you the most amount of time to find an answer. Midense trying to find a streaking Siobhan John Brown on the other side. And it's fallen to him fortuitously. It's off the post, but the offside flag goes up anyway. Siobhan John Brown this close, but it would not have counted. I'm not sure. Surely he wasn't offside there. He was several yards onside. It must have been another decision made by our officiating crew, or perhaps he was offside on the initial pass that was lobbed to him earlier on, and they're just playing advantage for a moment. Nonetheless, 1-0 your scoreline here. Pedro Fonseca with the lone goal. Benson will roll it out to Acha Isayaya, and then his pass is inaccurate to Mariona. So I mentioned earlier, Nick Akoto. Earlier this week, it was announced that he was being transferred across the pond from League One to League One, but in this case, it's the English Football League League One, which is a pretty significant jump, going to the 3rd tier of the English pyramid. Curry cuts inside. Jackson Curry tries to shoot, but Apollon was on him. Largest transfer in USL League One history, so a massive achievement not only for Tormenta, but for USL League One as a whole. Here's a threaded ball through. Siobhan John Brown squares it across. It was behind Benson. Central Valley Fuego with some chances here. They're able to find an answer and score down a goal against Madison, whom are an incredibly tough side to score upon. Midense, he's been promising early in this game, plays it out to Mariona. Mariona plays it across! Nearly an own goal, but Drew Romig had the reflexes. Deflected off of Jake Dangler, but Drew Romig makes the stop. He was already positioning himself for Dembar Benson, but he had the reaction time necessary to keep that one from trickling through. Spangler Taps out to Fonseca. Fonseca shoots, it's saved. Carlos Aviles denying entry there. And it's been an open game so far. Both sides trading blows. Talking about that Nick Akoto deal, Ian Cameron told me. We've been looking to send him out, but have been waiting for the right offer. And of course, this deal with Burton Albion FC had been in the works for about 2 to 3 weeks. They value him highly and have a plan for him in place. He ended up getting assists today in his first appearance with the side in a friendly. So it seems like whatever plan they had in place, it's, at this point, the omen is that it's an effective one. There were other offers prior to that for Akoto that just weren't quite right. They were waiting for the proper offer, the proper team, and they found it. And that's just proof of the model that Tormenta are operating with in Statesboro, of their ability to find and develop talent. Fonseca trying to connect with Vivas. Sebastian Vivas will play it backward. Ramos cutting it inside. Spangler makes a move. Now shoots. Tried to pick out a corner, but it was going upward.
Please be sure to check out the Fuego team store located at 4233 West Sierra Madre Avenue in Fresno. The team store is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Flag goes up, and that opportunity stopped from the assistant official. The USL Summer of Soccer continues on CBS. Surging Detroit City FC, led by first-year head coach Danny Dicchio, hosts newcomer Rhode Island FC with reigning USL Championship Player of the Year Albert Diqua on August 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern on the CBS network. And what a summer of soccer it has been, both in the USL and just across the world. We hope you've been getting your fill today of USL League One soccer. All 12 teams taking action. This is the last of the games to kick off. Just one more happening as we speak between the Charlotte Independence and the other Pacific Time team, Spokane Velocity. The away team leading in that game as well at this point in time. Spangler. Hopeful ball forward for Fonseca. Issa Yaya will be able to pass it back to Aviles. When it came to those 2 red cards being issued to Clayton Torr and Abdul Razak Cromwell, adjustments were gonna need to be made as Mariona enters the penalty area and takes a shot himself. That was a tough spot to let it fly, but it wasn't too far off. It perhaps was also fishing for one of his strikers to get on the end of it. Had a lot of pace on it, would have been tough to connect with. "19 years old, the Californian." Well, here's an opportunity. Falls down to Heckenberg. Siobhan John Brown shoots, it's deflected. He chests it to his right. Excuse me, his left. Midense taps it inside. Now it's Lemus. He'll swing it in. And it's knocked upward by Dangler. Careless giveaway started that chance in favor of Central Valley. And now Hassan will take it forward and keep hold of the ball despite some heavy pressure. And at the end of it, draws a foul, be a free kick. have to see what we can put together now that we have to figure it out, because we have a couple of red cards, Jermaine Jones said after the game. And figure it out, they must. Along that back line, we've already seen it. Let one goal slip by this evening. The positive side of things is things have looked good on the attacking end. Already many promising moments for Central Valley here in the opening 20 minutes. But there are just so many challenges that come with having to reconfigure a back line on the spot like that. It's already tough when you have to replace one player, whether it be to injury or suspension or anything, to body management due to a congested week. But when you have to replace two of those players, and one of the guys starting already is young and is still trying to get comfortable in his position, it's just a tall order. Free kick comes floating in, headed upward and out by Dembor Benson. Corner kick for Tormenta on the way.
Number 21, Ajmir Spengler taking the corner.
Spengler whips it in, headed outward once again. Long distance shot, tried to be bent in, but didn't quite have the accuracy necessary to test Carlos Aviles. Last played with Chattanooga. Now here with Central Valley, Fuego Aviles. And he's been around the block in USL League One. Has seen his way with a couple of clubs. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that one of the clubs that he spent some time with was, in fact, Tormenta. That was back in the 2021 season, so a couple years back, sitting behind the likes of Pablo Jara. Midense weaves back inside, then tries the squaring ball, earns a corner kick.
Corner kick, Fuego.
A chance for Central Valley to find an answer from the set piece. Midense's service. Dips down. That one went towards goal. Now Mariona shoots. Not a bad hit on the ball. Just too wide of the left post.
Mariona loaded up the right foot for a shot.
Javier Mariona definitely not lacking in confidence. Third meeting this season between these two sides. Central Valley won the home opener in Statesboro. Jermaine Jones's first match as the head man. Then they drew back in June in cup play. Tormenta would end up winning in penalties. Central Valley still had positive to take away from that game and look to take the edge in the series as a whole. It's currently tied at 3 wins apiece and the draw from June. It's currently the final scheduled meeting of the season. Midense. Not a bad looking ball, trying to find John Brown. Foul from Jackson Curry hits Omar Lemus, and I'll hold a moment to let him get back up on his feet. Jose Carrera Garcia awaiting the go-ahead for this set piece. Bodies lining up at the top of the 18. Service is pretty good. Falls down. Midense collects the scraps. Midense tries the shot. Does not get past Ramos. How about the effort there to win the ball back, draw the foul. Believe that's Al-Sadiq Hassan. And he gets a high five. A well played moment there from the Tormenta man. This one knocked out of bounds for a Tormenta throw. And Cameron, when scouting out this Central Valley Fuego team, talked about the recent matchup against them in June. He said the bye week coming into the game against us was big for them. They doubled down on the foundational pieces, and now the players that are showing that fire, that passion, are getting the minutes for Jermaine Jones' side. He felt last game they dominated the first half, but then got too passive. He said they're gonna go at you, so we need to beat them and take advantage. And you get by that first line, they just apply another wave of pressure, so you have to slip through. He said it's much different than that of when you play up against like a Charlotte Independence, where you get through that first line and then they close off, make it a lot harder to break you down after that, daring you to find a way through. The Central Valley Fuego team, though, gets a lot more in your face, tries to force you to make a mistake. Different philosophies, different tactics, have different strengths and different weaknesses. But the fact of the matter is, it's just a much different matchup in this game than it is against the Mike Jeffries-led side. Siobhan John Brown gets that one jabbed away, but not legally. Jose Carrera Garcia waiting to send this service in. He'll actually play it to the left-hand side for Midense. Midense with a step over. Now crosses it inside. Two players going up for it. Brought down. This effort will float over harmlessly. Tune into ESPN2 for a USL Summer of Soccer showdown as last season's top two sides from the East and the West face off in an inter-conference clash, with perennial powerhouse Sacramento Republic FC hosting Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. Saturday, August 3rd at 11 p.m. Eastern. That'll be another Pacific time matchup. Midense finds Jose Carrera Garcia. Looked for the tap inside, but an emphatic clearance knocks it away. Develop a lot of chemistry when you go on these long road trips. Chemistry's been something that this Tormenta team has with them this year. It's pretty strong in this group, according to Ian Cameron. And they put a lot of stock into that fact. He said togetherness is pivotal to success. And he felt that that togetherness was on display in that Jägermeister Cup game against Charlotte, a game that they ended up winning in penalties in the rain. He said we never gave up and found the goal we needed late in that one to get an equalizer. He talked about in particular Austin Wenner, one of the guys on the bench who was not going to get into the game, and yet he was still bringing the energy even after the last substitutions were made, where the possibility of him getting in were no longer an available option. You only have so many windows and so many subs you can make in a single match. And despite that, he kept bringing the energy, and then when the penalties happened, he grabbed his teammates together in the rain and showed that support. He said unity can make such a difference in the close playoff games at the end of the year. You can have that unity, have that chemistry, that togetherness. It can be that little edge you need. You don't need to question what Ian Cameron knows about what it takes to win in this league. Of course, Tormenta having won the title in 2021. Vivas poking it forward to Fonseca. Pedro Fonseca with a nice touch, but it's a good deflection. Spangler couldn't square it across effectively. Oh, so close to 2-0. Pedro Fonseca. It's a wonderful touch. I think that went off the left post too. Carlos Aviles getting what he needed on that one. And here they come again. Vivas with the nutmeg pass to Corey, but he couldn't bring it in. And that's what it is with this Tormenta side, especially in this game in particular. In a moment's notice, if they can slip by you and get you guessing which way they're going to go, who they're going to pass it to, what kind of combinations they're going to use. Not only are they going to dice you up, but they're going to make it look good while they do it. Curry plays it up top. It slips by Vivas. Couldn't get a touch on it. He would have been in a prime spot. Mariona passing this one back. After the game on Wednesday, Mariona got asked how I felt about the performance. He said we should have gotten more out of it. We battled the whole 90 minutes. We really fought and left everything on the field, and to not come away with at least 1 point is a super tough pill to swallow. Of course, his efforts in that one will not be overlooked. Not just, of course, because of his goal scored, but just his contributions in general in the game. I can't help but agree. Having watched that game, it was a good performance from Central Valley. It just, soccer could sometimes boil down to just a moment or two that make the difference in result. Steedman taps it to his left. This one sifting across. A pass put in a dangerous area. It ends up rolling out harmlessly. It's a good chance nonetheless, though. Lemus with some acreage to run with. Plays it back across the center. Heckenberg, former Tormenta player himself. Here's Mariona. Weaving, shooting, it deflects off. And out for a corner kick. Perhaps some appeals for a handball as well, but that will not be conceded. Javier Mariona not scared to shoot from over in that angle. Having done it once so already today. Scored from that area on Wednesday. And now another corner kick for the home side. Punched away by Romig. Jose Carrera Garcia brings it down and dishes it to his right for Lemus. Another service goes up, and Siobhan John Brown's gonna have to chase it down. Jake Dangler knocking that one. And Jose Carrera Garcia will pass it all the way back to his keeper, Carlos Aviles. One League One vet to another in JCG and Carlos Aviles. Apollon withstanding some pressure here and draws the foul. It's Midense once again. His cross just a little bit too high for Denbor Benson. Was in a good vicinity. Then again, if it had been a bit lower, Drew Romig may have been able to get his hand on it before it reached the intended target. Fonseca shuffles that out to Spangler before it rolls over to Sadiq Hassan. Just his third start in league play this season, having appeared in now 4 matches total in USL League One play, that is. Ramos was looking for Spangler to make that run. Of course, he did not do that. Mariona inside for Heckenberg. Midense brings this one down. One-on-one with Hassan to Mariona. Little back heel. Midense's ball inside. Had to get contact on it. Still in play though. And now the whistle blows for a corner kick. That was awfully close on the byline. Jose Carrera Garcia from the left corner flag. We'll see if their luck's better from this end on the corner. Not a bad service. Mariona heads it back down. It slipped through for Apollon. He couldn't connect with it with either one of his boots. Fonseca lobs it upward, headed away by Heckenberg. And a wide open game, back and forth. Not a lot of time spent in the middle of the pitch. Midense gets that one out while he's falling. Mariona takes the shot, deflects, it's in! Test your luck. And sometimes it'll break through for you. 2 straight games with a goal for Javier Mariona. Pinball action inside the 18. And the 19-year-old, after having never scored professionally, has 2 goals in the span of a few days. Deflecting off of Preston Killwine, trying to get in the way of it. And instead, ends up being the undoing of his keeper, Drew Romig. Central Valley Fuego have been showing that promise offensively, and now it's paid off for them. 1-1 your scoreline. From Los Altos, California, of descent from El Salvador, he represents his country at the youth national team level in that capacity. And now he's really starting to flourish as a professional goal-scoring option here in Fresno. Ashkenov Apollon into Mariona. Outside to Siobhan John Brown. And we'll see if the tides are turning in the favor of Central Valley Fuego. Service goes floating up, and Romig made some contact with it. And another corner kick incoming for Central Valley Fuego. Now the push will be, can they find another before going to the break?
Number 10, Jose Carrera-Garcia taking the corner for the Fuego.
Worth noting, the assist will be given to Midense, so 2 goals for Mariona, both of which have been supplied by the 22-year-old. Carrera Garcia's service comes spitting in, and it's headed away by Dangler. And Siobhan John Brown wrestles it back for the home side. Siobhan John Brown takes a shot. Lemus had to do something there. Carlos Aviles was well off his line. Jose Carrera Garcia now. Some contact between him and Sebastian Vivas, but play will go on. Midense over to Mariona. A couple more players go down outside of the ball. Apollon with a nice little turn. A lot of white jersey between him and any of his teammates, but he floats it up. Now Mariona once again trying to keep the ball down, but then it's cleared away. Aviles will track it down. He has 2 options to pass to. He'll connect with Bustamante. Mariona. Light on his feet here, and now he'll bring it forward. It's been him and Midense who've been so dangerous in this game, and now they have the stat to prove it. Carrera Garcia out to Midense. Cross comes in for Benson. He floats this one up, and Rome gets there. Maybe a little contact having to be handled there by Drew Romig, but he gets the job done one way or another. Select the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest select products, specials, and more. Select the player's choice. Lemus speeding forward. Still Omar Lemus. Gets it back. Siobhan John Brown plays it out wide for Mariona. Javier Mariona shoots! And it's out for another corner kick. Drew Romig had to get a piece of it. Javier Mariona. He's scorching hot, and he's looking to build off this momentum. It'll be a corner kick on the right end. So Midense will make a long dribble walk over to the other side and ended up relinquishing duties to Chris Heckenberg. If I'm the home side, I'm keeping the pedal to the metal here, pushing for that goal before the break. Tormenta currently on their heels. Heckenberg loading this one up, caught by Romig. Fans are going to be very pleased with how this one has transpired. And also celebrating Marvel Superhero Night. Free entry given to people in superhero costume. They're also giving away themed posters and shirts, a little bit of a smash between Marvel Comics and Central Valley Fuego, which I think is some pretty cool material for fans to collect. And if there's anything that superheroes love, it's a crossover event. This one slipping through for Vivas. Sebastian Vivas! The flag stays down! And the visitors have reclaimed the lead. All the momentum going against them, and they break the tide. Just a hopeful ball, and then a sliding strike from Vivas. How about that finish from the Argentine? His 7th goal of the season. He was tied for 3rd in goal scoring coming into the day. And now he's just hopped himself up to 2nd place. Well, that was in 2nd place. He's now in sole possession of 3rd place due to Juan Carlos Obregon also getting some goals in that game over in Spokane. North from here. As a matter of fact, I think Juan Carlos Obregon has just taken the lead in the Golden Boot race with 2 goals in that game, which passes Lion McKinnon. Flag goes up.
Stoppage time. 2 minutes.
And we're going to get 2 minutes of stoppage time added here. So a half that I would say has more so favored the likes of Central Valley Fuego. They've definitely enjoyed more of the promising possession, but it's bookended by 2 opportune strikes from Tormenta. And even within the advantaged play of Central Valley Fuego, Tormenta have had their opportunities where they've sneaked through and had some venomous chances. So although you could say the flow of the game has more so been dictated by Central Valley, I don't think Tormenta have felt the most pressed by the way the situation has unfolded. And of course, now you can say that more confidently given the fact they're back in the lead once again. But even when it was 1-all, they knew they were going to get their chances, and then they took advantage of it. Ramos. Back to Spangler. Ramos not making the run that Jackson Curry thought he was going to make. So Central Valley will get the ball one more time, presumably. And if they can get it down the pitch, conjure up one more chance before the halftime whistle. If you give it away like that. Now it could be Tormenta who have the last strike, should they choose to take it. They also would be fine with going into the break the way it is. On the road, up 2-1. So a half bookended with Tormenta goals means that the away side have a 2-1 lead over the home side, Central Valley Fuego. A goal in the 6th minute from Pedro Fonseca, an answer from the youngster Javier Mariona. But then the repost from Sebastian Vivas in the 44th minute means that it's 2-1 in favor of the visitors. We'll step aside for a moment. When we come back, we'll have halftime content for you here on ESPN+. We'll see you after this break.
At Golden Bear Physical Therapy, our goal is to help you reach the best version of you. We specialize in physical therapy, work injury prevention and rehabilitation, athlete training and sports injury, and so much more. So whether you're trying to get back to work or back to practice, call us today and let us help you.
We've had a lot of fun here in the first half in Fresno, California. 2-1 your scoreline. We also had a lot of fun in week 14. Here are the highlights for you now. Into training every day. You're doing the same old eventually. As this one's given away and it's a goal.
Well, that was the mistake Rick Wright was talking about. Unfortunately, it was for Oliver Harald.
Kunga slips by one defender. Lagos Kunga couldn't get through Rankenberg.
He looked up and was waiting for help at the back post, but it wasn't there in time, so just try and shoot.
Youth. Ates Youth could be away here. It's a bad mistake at the back from Tormenta right before halftime. Ates Youth shuffling on his right and firing into the back of the net. The man who created the chance dispatches it. Lexington go ahead shortly before the interval. Cross to the front post. Fonseca cuts it back. And the equalizer from Sebastian Vivas. Off the bench, onto the score sheet, and Tormenta are level. Jackson Corey sticking with it. Second ball played in and headed in. Pedro Fonseca has been sniffing around goal all night long and gets the go-ahead header in the 87th minute.
He gets disrupted by King, but Calixto tries to cross anyways. Kelly leaves it, shoots, scores! Another stoppage time stunner! Knoxville take the advantage in the 94th! Castro, a man up, a goal up. And that's the second goal for Rudy Castro, the first for Knoxville, and they rip the 3 points away from the Hailstorm.
Statistically, the worst defense in the league. They've conceded 22 goals this season. On goal over the top. Marsh is there. Marsh with the header. It's in. Inside 40 seconds. Chattanooga lead. Mensah on the turn. On the goal. Will Papa Mensah 2 goals in next to no time. Played in behind for Bilha, he keeps it in play. Ball is loose and the back heel from Terzaghi, and the lead is cut in half. Chance, a little bit of a surprise that Lukic even went for the free kick. It wasn't too far away. Oh, it's in! Siobhan Marsh seals the victory! Mistake out of the back by Richmond. And Siobhan Marsh seals the deal. Ingo within swing, ball is loose. Obertan, shot from distance, it's deflected and in from Johnson. Keeps it in play. Belmar across goal, deflected on the line. It's a goal, it's been given. And it will go down as an own goal, surely.
Well, that was a lot of fun there. I can't wait to see what the Week 15 highlights are going to look like. Had a lot of fun throughout this Saturday, and we've got some more action coming up your way on ESPN+.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
The best nights start with Jägermeister, made with 56 botanicals, always served ice cold.
It will take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2,
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
Touchdown by Rodriguez. Going for goal. It's Morris, and it's in! Detroit City's ahead.
And a bit of space as well. He'll have a go from distance. Oh, what a goal!
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Welcome back here to Fresno State Soccer Stadium. 2-1 your scoreline after 45 minutes. South Georgia Tormenta leading Central Valley Fuego in their final meeting of the regular season. Mark Schoenster here with you on ESPN+. A lot of fun this summer in the USL Summer of Soccer, but it's not over yet. We still have 3 more Detroit City FC games to do, 3 more Sacramento Republic games to do, none of which overlap, which means we've got 6 whole games on the docket coming your way until the middle of August. The next one will be this Wednesday on the CBS Sports Network between Hartford Athletic and Detroit City FC. Particularly looking forward to that Lou City Sac Republic game on August 10th on ESPN2. That should be a fun one between 2 teams that are always throwing heavy punches in the USL Championship, but heavy punches, heavy news, big news. Nick Akoto, we talked about it in the first half, moving to Burton Albion FC. The Brewers, I mean, how about that logo? Gotta love that crest. One great crest to another in EFL League One. And it seems like the impact is already being felt over there. Having gotten an assist on the game-winning goal in his debut with his new club. Just another demonstration of what this Tormenta organization is capable of. Here are the scores from the rest of today. A day on Saturday where every single team played. The standout results have to be the 1-0 victories for Chattanooga and Northern Colorado Hailstorm, both going on the road and knocking off 2 teams in the toughest environments, you could argue, in the entire league. And then the final score over in Spokane, 4-2 in favor of the Jacks, means an impressive road win on the road against Lee Veidman's side. It also means that this is the only game left on the docket today, and this is what we've got coming up on August 3rd. You've got games for Tormenta going to play Spokane, and Central Valley Fuego will go and play Chattanooga. Both, well, it'll be on the road for Central Valley Fuego. Tormenta will have to travel back to the East Coast, but they'll be traveling back home to play Spokane Velocity. Those will both be interesting games, along with, I think, Madison and Omaha will be another one worth tuning into, along with a Wednesday game between Chattanooga and Spokane to close things out in the upcoming schedule. With that in mind, we've talked about everything that's coming up, everything that has happened. We still got 45 more minutes to go in this one, and if it's anything like the first 45, we still got some more drama coming our way. We'll see you on the other end of this break.
At Golden Bear Physical Therapy, our goal is to help you reach the best version of you. We specialize in physical therapy, work injury prevention and rehabilitation, athlete training and sports injury, and so much more. So whether you're trying to get back to work or back to practice, call us today and let us help you.
We are back, and this time we're sticking around. 2-1 your scoreline after 45, and we've got 45 more minutes on the docket for you here on ESPN+. Tormenta and Fuego doing battle here to close out week 15. Here are the highlights from the first half of action. Mark Schoenster with you. Things got going early. 6th minute finish from Pedro Fonseca, our player to watch on the Tormenta side of things. Neat little finish. Nice step inside. You get him dribbling into the penalty area. The defender taking back steps, backing up. He's gonna do some unkind things to you. Someone who's capable of doing some unkind things as well is Javier Mariona. He's now found the back of the net twice as a professional, both of which have happened in the span of a couple days. Sometimes you just gotta let it fly. A lot of bodies in the penalty area. Every now and then it's gonna ping in your favor. The goalkeeper can't do much about that, but what can be done about it is to find a response. Sebastian Vivas, it's a beautiful ball from Preston Kilwine, his first assist of the season. And then Vivas, a sliding finish, lifts that one up over top of Aviles into the roof of the net and onto the score sheet. You can see there the disparity in possession. Central Valley Fuego with a lot of the possession, but the shots and the shots on target disparity, well, there isn't much of one. Which is kind of the point I was getting to at the end of the first half, which is that although Central Valley Fuego could be happy about the control they had, South Georgia Tormenta could also be happy about what they did when they actually had the ball in their possession. They were creating chances, they were testing the goalkeeper, and they were able to find two in the back of the net. So I think there are positives for both teams to take away. Now it's going to be about, can you hold on to those things whilst minimalizing what the other team was able to accomplish? As we get things going once again from Fresno. The last game of the night, all 12 teams playing and taking action on this wonderful Saturday. As it stands right now, Tormenta sitting in 6th place, but that will only stay the way it is if they can hang on to 3 points here, which would keep them above Chattanooga in 6th place. Due to Omaha losing to Chattanooga, it's a new 1st place team. And the new 1st place team is the old one, Greenville Triumph, back at the top of the table, tied with Charlotte Independence with 23 points after the Jacks were able to get 3 big points on the road. That one having just wrapped up. So if you're tuning in after the conclusion of that game, whether you're a Jacks fan, a bemoaned Spokane Velocity fan, or just a neutral observer that was choosing to watch that game, and that game did have 6 goals in it, so can't blame you. You're able to get your viewing's worth, but and you're now over here. We welcome you in. This one's been pretty spicy in and of itself. Javier Mariona makes the move, cuts by Pedro Fonseca, and all he could do is foul to keep him from going forward. It's not going to be a question of how long will some of these players who played on Wednesday stay in. They're going to play it quickly, but Mariona is down still, so the ref going to say, no, we want to check up on this player during the dead ball situation. Looking to pull a fast one, but won't be what happens. Mariona and Midense combining on that goal in the first half of action. So both the goals they've scored this week have been that same configuration. Midense curls this one in, and the header comes down! Oh, that is a work of art! Acha Isayaya rises highest, knocks down that peach of a ball and scores. We are all tied up at 2 apiece. A first professional goal for Acha Isayaya. Man, Alfredo Midense just loves giving guys their first opportunity to hit the back of the net. And how about this service? Dips down at the right moment. And that's a lot of ups on the 19-year-old Ghanaian defender. Launches into the air, head and shoulders above the defender. And all he has to do is pick the right corner. That's an answer. 2-2 here in Fresno.
Goal scored by number 25.
If you're one of those fans who switched over after the ending of the Spokane Charlotte Independence game, boy, aren't you glad you decided to turn this one on. Now here come Tormenta. Can they find another quick response? That shot will drag wide, but it did take a glance, so it's out for a corner kick.
Corner kick. Tormenta. Number 21. Kashmir Spengler taking the corner for Tormenta.
It'll be a corner kick from the right corner flag. Our head official, Jair Campos, make sure that piece is kept within the penalty area. Spengler whips this one in. Falls to Vivas. Vivas pops it up. It's headed down, then cleared away. Player down for Central Valley Fuego. They find themselves in a similar situation to the ones they found themselves in on Wednesday, going down a goal at halftime and then quickly finding a response to start out the second half. Now it's a matter of, can they keep up in this game? And it looks like a hit to the face, whether it be from the header or from the hand, that causes this transgression to occur.
Soccer fans, stay up to date with Fuego FC by visiting our official website at fuegofc.com. Download the 2024 schedule and all match day information.
Late confirmation who that is that's down for Central Valley. You can hear the wind whipping about in Fresno. Dropped a couple more degrees. It's only about 4-mile-per-hour gusts, but you can at least see the corner flags whipping. You can hear the wind. Perhaps different areas of the city suffering from more wind than others. Jermaine Jones looking at some of the tactics with his coaching staff. Two assists in this game for Alfredo Midense. The Honduran forward who has looked good the entire day and has now doubled his assist tally on the season. He's got 4 on the year. That's 4 assists in 5 appearances. And it's Omar Lemus, the one who's back up on his feet after going down. He's a quality player in his second year with Central Valley. So he'll jog off the pitch and wait to get waved back on. Mariona passes it to Midense. Heckenberg. Jose Carrera Garcia will play it back to Ashkenov Apollon. Now the goal scorer, Acha Isayaya, will continue to bring it forward. Lovely ball to Mariona. Javier Mariona plays it back. Midense didn't hit that one right.
super elite strength.
Alfredo Midense, his first pro contract as well. Spent some time at the DC United Academy before making his way over here. I mean, this is another guy, again, this is his 5th appearance for Central Valley Fuego, but he has proven himself very quickly to be a commodity for this side. That's 5 league appearances. Of course, there's also some Jägermeister Cup games smattered in there. But in 5 league appearances, he has a goal and 4 assists. And here he is on the ball once again. Midense. Still going with it. And it's knocked out of his clutches. Spangler. It's double teamed, and Jose Carrera Garcia will now take over the driver's seat. Mariona still with it. Javier Mariona tried to pick a corner, and it's wide once again.
Another close call.
Mariona, much like Midense, demonstrating how apt he is with the ball at his feet, even when things go a little bit not according to plan. Vivas, one of the goal scorers in this game. Gets that knocked away from him. A whistle blows from our head official. And it is a Tormenta throw. Sadiq Hassan. That one knocked away from him. And it'll end up being a Central Valley Fuego throw. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 in the new Sirius XM app. This one up the pitch. Siobhan John Brown trying to make something of it. A humble guy, as Jermaine Jones described him to me earlier this week. He has the potential to be a strong part of this team and to be a big name in this league, Siobhan John Brown, according to Jermaine Jones. They see flashes of his game in games, and then they see even more of it in training. Now it's about him recognizing his moments. Been a bit quiet in this affair thus far, but in a game that's been goals aplenty, he could still have his moment to step up and shine. Jose Carrera Garcia finds Mariona. Javier Mariona earns a corner kick. It has been all Central Valley Fuego in the first 10 minutes here of the second half. Now can they further take advantage of it more than they already have? One goal in their name in the second half. Acha Isa Yaya with the gliding header as this one sent in, and they were looking to recreate that moment there. Once again, Isa Yaya on the end of that one.
For Tormenta. Off the pitch is number 30, Connor Doyle, and number 21, Kashmir Spengler. Coming on the pitch is number 16, Mason Tedbridge, and number 28, Aaron Walker.
So we're gonna get 2 substitutions here, including a very interesting substitution. First off, we'll get the more standard one out of the way. Mason Tunbridge will sub in for Ajmer Spangler. The other one, a name that League One fans are going to recognize. Aaron Walker making his debut after being announced just a day or two ago as a new signing for Tormenta. Spent 5 seasons with Tormenta's rival Greenville Triumph. Getting picked up this week. And we'll slide in for Connor Doyle here. And what an interesting add to this Tormenta unit he is gonna be. Ian Cameron told me earlier this week that we looked at him at the start of the season and he knew that we respected him and that he respected us. And when the season went along and they knew they were gonna be shopping for someone and they found out he was still available, they pulled the trigger. Not only will he contribute just as a playmaker, but also he's a leader. And they think that he can be an X factor for Tormenta going down the stretch, Ian Cameron. And we also need another difference maker with Nick Akoto departing for good reasons, of course, but the fact of the matter still stands that they no longer have Nick Akoto, so they need someone to fill in that void as far as playmaking is concerned, even though it'll be a different kind of playmaking with Aaron Walker. Mariona. Guarded off the ball by Fonseca. And then a little too aggressive in the pressure from Mariona means a free kick for Tormenta. For League One fans, it's certainly going to take some time getting used to, though, seeing Aaron Walker in a jersey any other than the Greenville Triumph jersey. And although I haven't seen any Aaron Walker action all season long, it's not like he hasn't been active soccer-wise in his own personal ventures that aren't in the public eye, but he also took part in the TST, the soccer tournament, 7-on-7 tourney a month or two ago. Played on the team highlighted by Chad Ochocinco, but former Greenville Triumph goalkeeper Dallas J was also on that team. Played against the likes of JJ Watt and Pat McAfee, which, if that's not a strange crossover, USL League One with former NFL stars playing each other in a 7-on-7 soccer tournament. I'm not sure how much more funny a crossover scenario that's actually reasonably attainable that you can achieve than that. I definitely was psyching myself out when I watched that. Chance to break forward for Central Valley. Siobhan John Brown goes down. Ref says play on. And just to revisit that thought process with Nick Akoto and his turnover to play across the pond. I'll actually hold on that thought for a moment here. Vivas taps it back. Steedman, play it over to his right. This ball slipping through one attempted clearance, and now will roll out. When it came to the Nick Akoto deal, Ian Cameron said that our bigger picture is to win titles, serve the community, and then find undervalued prospects and assist them, help them grow into their proper market value, at least the market value that we believe them to be. And when you see someone like Nick Akoto not only make that jump, get that acquisition, but also go to the right spot, not just waiting for the first moment that someone throws some money at you. It sends a message to players not only within the Tormenta organization, but just players that maybe are considering going to play for Tormenta. This ball slipping through. Not a bad pass. Fonseca! Denied by Aviles. That's a situation where, as a goalkeeper, you don't think about the save being made. You just put yourself in a position to be in the way. The job was done before it reached Fonseca because Carlos Avila certainly did not have enough time to react to that shot. But he put himself in the ideal spot and he made the stop necessary. Ball comes driving in. Bounces just at the top of the 6th, then cleared away. Fonseca, the first goal scorer in this game, taps it back to Steedman. Don't think that was quite the way Steedman was hoping to hit it, but it reaches its target anyway. Ramos didn't make the run. Could have been promising if he was on the same page there with the other end of the pass. For other players in our program, or perhaps players considering to join the Tormenta program, Ian Cameron said, it's evident that you could see that one of our goals as an organization is to not make Tormenta your last stop, but perhaps make it more of a springboard to launch yourself up to your proper level of talent, to a league where you're gonna fit right in, whether that be going across the pond to the EFL or going up to USL Championship. That is part of the Tormenta model. Mariona. This cross will go all the way over to the other end to Lamous. Omar Lamous, shaking by Curry. Goes by Heckenberg. And Tunbridge is able to be the one to get on the end of that one and distribute it to Curry. Fonseca starts running to his left. Jackson Curry doesn't get that one away in time. Acha Isayaya slides in and blocks it. Midense, with eyes on the back of his head there, aware of the defender coming. Mariona sliding inside to his left. Midense will take the shot, and this one will float around and bend out of bounds, well beyond the frame of goal. Pretty well to think about the fact that earlier this week, I asked Jermaine Jones about the progress of youngsters Acha Isayaya and Javier Mariona. Little did I know that between the two of them, 3 goals would be accounted for within the span of 2 games, really demonstrating the growth they've had this season. Siobhan John Brown now stepping inside. He let it fly. It didn't get too far. Both still young, still learning, Acha Isayaya and Javier Mariona. With more time, they'll get even better. They'll get more confident, and I think there's definitely been some confidence building both on Wednesday and especially tonight for both Isayaya and Mariona. And they build even more confidence as this game goes on. Player goes down for Tormenta. So let's take a look at what transpired here. That's Brian Bustamante. Got a little bit tangled up, didn't go down immediately, but then he felt it in his right leg. He's the one down. They're already so short on options defensively. Maybe a situation where you're going to need to ask someone to play a little bit out of position in order to shore up the back line.
On the pitch is number 7. Watson. Coming off is number 11. Jackson Curry.
There will be some substitutions coming, I'm hearing, for both teams. It'll just be a matter of them being executed. Jackson Curry comes off and Niall Watson will come in. So it's bad news upon bad news for Central Valley because Watson, another proven goal scorer, coming in with some fresh legs. Meanwhile, you're down yet another defensive player. Worth reminding, 2 starters from Wednesday's game on the back line not available for selection in this game due to red card suspension, which has called in the likes of the injured player Brian Bustamante in his first start professionally to step in and see if he can leave an impact on the game after having not played many minutes this season.
Number 24, Brian Bustamante is back up, working on that.
Tinkering, and more tinkering will be necessary from head coach Jermaine Jones, former U.S. men's national team star. So now a substitution for Jermaine Jones. A fantastic night for Alfredo Midense reaches its conclusion. 2 assists on the night. And he will be replaced by Zahir Vasquez. A 24-year-old forward from Utah. Mohamed Dabo will also sub into the game for Bustamante. Maybe the best answer here. Dabo usually playing more of a holding midfield role, but perhaps can slip further back and pair up with Acha Isayaya. He's got experience with him, Mohamed Dabo. He's been with Central Valley Fuego now. This is 3rd year, 28 years old. He's got lots of professional soccer under his belt. And he is stepping up here. Watson, winding around to the right-hand side, takes it to the corner. You can also switch to a 3-back system if they feel comfortable doing that. This one, nice ball through, but getting there first is Carlos Aviles. And that might just be what Central Valley Fuego is doing here. They might be switching to a 3-back system with Acha Isayaya, the 19-year-old, playing in that center spot, which would mean it's Lemus, Apollon, and Isayaya along that back line. They'll be relying a lot on Mohamed Dabo to help out. Truly some intriguing stuff here. Mariona was looking to connect with Vasquez. And that one will clear out officially for a throw now. USL League One is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on CBS Sports, Golazo Network, and ESPN+. Go to USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Mariona somehow gets that one away. Siobhan John Brown. Couple of step overs. Will now pass it back. Dabo. Slips that one through. Siobhan John Brown plays it across goal! And it's a walk-in finish! Central Valley Fuego lead. Dembor Benson, all he had to do was waltz it into the back of the net. It's a much-deserved advantage for the home side. They've been on the front foot for most of this second half. A wonderful ball from Siobhan John Brown, his first league assist. And this is a Central Valley Fuego side that have been searching for these results. They have been scrapping in so many games, haven't been able to come away with 3 points. They finally get the win in Jägermeister Cup play in their last Jägermeister Cup match. That one was up against Spokane Velocity here at Fresno State Soccer Stadium. And they were in a tight game against Forward Madison. And you can't really shake your head at a team losing at Breese Stevens Field this season, because up until earlier today, it hadn't been done that an away team had won at Breese Stevens Field. And they have fought oh so hard in this game, and now they see themselves leading for the first time in the match. And now the eyes switch to what will Tormenta do? How will they respond? How will they answer? This is where that togetherness that Ian Cameron has said his team has displayed throughout the season will really come into play. They had to find a late equalizer in their last game. Can they find one here? After going up twice in this affair and twice seeing that lead vanish, and now they see themselves currently standing on 0 points. When it comes to building that chemistry, I asked Ian Cameron how much of it's up to chance and how much of it can you actually control. He says it's a balance of both, but there are a lot of factors that you do have a say in. One of which is, of course, who are you actually adding to the group? What motivates them? You can increase the likelihood of good connections if you're bringing in guys who are more likely to jive with the rest of your group. Another thing is what happens when a player gets isolated for whatever a myriad of reasons that could be. Is this one serviced inside, falls to Vivas! And Carlos Aviles, for a moment, looked like it might slip through, but he stopped it, and he's down. Here's a look at that ball once again. Headed off Isayaya, Sebastian Vivas had to try to fight through Omar Lemus, but the momentum had been stifled, and Carlos Aviles able to sit on it, hanging on desperately to this lead they now have. So here Vasquez took some contact, and it'll end up being a free kick for Central Valley. A yellow card incoming. Actually, haven't seen a single booking up to this point. This will be our first booking of the day. That'll be Preston Kilwine's third yellow card of the season. It's nice we get an exciting game like this. We get a lot of goals and not a lot of bookings. Just means it's just all about the game. I don't have to worry about any of the needless contact and drama. Apollon plays this one in, and that may have been a much required header, or else it was gonna fall to Denbar Benson. Siobhan John Brown on the throw-in. Throws it in. Tapped upward by Vasquez. That ball knocked away. Another Fuego throw coming. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Niall Watson swings that ball into Acha Isayaya. He heads it away, but not out of the danger yet. Tight pass, and that was scary. That's the moment where the keeper and the center back need to be on the same page because Carlos Aviles was there for it. And instead, it's going to be topped out for a corner, turning no danger into some danger.
Number 16, Mason Tunbridge will take the corner for Tormenta.
Now Fuego just have to hope they don't suffer for it. This ball's still in the mixer. They're hacking around for it, and it's pinged out of play. Ball comes back inside, and Carlos Aviles is able to get to it after going through some contact. It hasn't been pretty, but Central Valley have been able to hang on to this lead a couple times despite some testy moments. And now there are two separate Central Valley players who are ailing a little bit. Lemus went down earlier, and so did Carlos Aviles. They're definitely feeling it right now. May need to take a nice long ice bath after this one for those two. Well, in case you missed out on the players that were going to be available for this game, here the Golden Bear Physical Therapy injury report. Some players missing out for Tormenta, including the usual starter, Ford Parker, Aaron Lombardi, also a player who could feature for Tormenta, not playing. Al Sadiq Hassan has stepped in and done well today, though, in his stead. For Central Valley Fuego, the availability is more so on the end of missing players from red cards, but also some playmakers missing from the fray, such as Mo Espinoza. He just hasn't been able to really get into a flow of things this season due to those injuries. Jose Carrera Garcia gets that one knocked away from him. This could be a key moment here. Sebastian Vivas winning that one in the air to Fonseca. Fonseca trying to find a window, squares it across. A sliding challenge means that Jose Carrera Garcia gets there a moment sooner. We're in the 82nd minute now. Tunbridge plays this across, and Romig, excuse me, that's Carlos Aviles, gets there first. Tormenta now having to be more of the aggressors, whereas before they were being opportunistic and waiting for the moment to come to them to strike. Now, they do not have that luxury, especially as this game wears on, and Central Valley will be more and more conservative. It'll be up to them to find the opportunity for themselves. No whistle blown, play will go on. The ref hasn't stopped things for much today, only one booking. Mariona weaving forward. Plays it to Heckenberg. Now Siobhan John Brown strolling along the perimeter. Plays it out to Heckenberg. Lemus. Mariona now. Gets bumped from behind by Joshua Ramos. More time to be whittled off the clock. Central Valley looking to make it 2 straight wins at home. A victory here and now would be a statement that they are getting themselves back into the race for a playoff spot. Jose Carrera Garcia slowly returns to his feet. That's once again worth re-emphasizing. Tormenta, we're down 1-0 from the 36th minute against Charlotte Independence, only to score in the 96th minute to equalize against the Independence. That was also on the road. Callum Stretch was the one to knock that one in. And a substitution in the workings here, and has been executed for Ian Cameron, 2 of them to be precise. Gabriel Rodriguez stepping in for one of the goal scorers, Pedro Fonseca. Meanwhile, Callum Stretch just talked about him. He'll sub in for Al-Sadiq Hassan. And they'll look to be the difference makers in this one late. Callum Stretch will be looking to do it again. But I don't think he'll be all too picky about who does it as long as somebody does. And here's a yellow card. That's the second one issued in this game. Given to Niall Watson, his second of the season.
Yellow card issued to number 7, Tormenta, Niall Watson.
That one having gone out of bounds for a Tormenta throw. Ramos to Aaron Walker, who'll return it right back. Steedman sends it over the right-hand side for Ramos once again. Joshua Ramos, one-on-one with Javier Mariona. And now he's double-teamed. Jose Carrera Garcia joining the fray. Watch out, fan. Right there along the edge of the playing area. You're definitely in the splash zone when you're in. Standing right behind the boards. Steedman turns, shoots, and that one rolls harmlessly wide. Player down, head contact means the ref needs to blow the whistle immediately. Denbor Benson nailing the back of his head right now. He has the game winner in this game. From Santa Rosa de Aguan, Honduras. Dimbor Benson, another mid-season acquisition for this side, came over from El Farolito. The U.S. Open Cup matchup between El Farolito and Central Valley Fuego. He did enough to make some waves and earn him a chance to make his way over to the professional level. That's part of the beauty of the Open Cup, is you get those players who make the moment count, play really well, and then get to move up a stage, whether it be from amateur to pro, which I think is always the best one, but also sometimes you see pros at one tier go up a jump after they get to play against a higher level opponent, improve their level of quality. Mariona clears that one away. Not out of the woods yet, though. Ramos being ushered out of the penalty area. After a couple deflections, it'll be out for a corner kick. We're in the 90th minute. We're entering crunch time here for Tormenta. We don't know yet just how much time will be tacked on by the fourth official. So how many more opportunities, how many more set piece chances is Tormenta gonna get after this one, if any? Tunbridge drives it inside, headed down by Siobhan John Brown. It's Aaron Walker now. Well, I tell you what, you're in for a lot of stoppage time here, folks. 10 more minutes. We're gonna get into the triple-digit zone tonight to cap off what has been a busy day in USL League One. Why not 10 more minutes? It's been a fun game. Let's see if we have any more chaos on the docket. Mohamed Dabo has other plans in mind. Dabo crosses it. And the Tormenta defense all around that ball, not gonna let a Central Valley Fuego within a good radius of it. Well, it was a 96th minute equalizer for Tormenta in the last game. They certainly will have till the 96th minute and beyond to find an equalizer here. It's just a matter of will they. We definitely had some stoppages here in the second half, but 10 minutes is definitely staggering. Tunbridge plays it late. This one cleared out. Steedman will roll this over out wide for Ramos. Ramos to Watson. Watson passing it back. Joshua Ramos into the 18. Aaron Walker tried to poke it back, but maybe too much air underneath that one. Tormenta gonna turn the dials further and further forward. Watson again. Watson driving it inside. Rodriguez couldn't get the deflection he was looking for. So he tried to glance it towards goal. All contact called fair there by Jair Campos. Kilwine. Slicing inside. Incisive pass. It's knocked away from Aaron Walker. Tunbridge. Has to slide to maintain possession for his team. Ramos. Service comes in. Had two white jerseys awaiting it. Now Acha Isayaya will provide clearance. 3 of the 7 minutes, or 3 of the 10 minutes, 7 minutes to go. Well, that one had some weird knuckle to it. Preston Kilwine having a go. Nearly bent its way back onto frame. Perhaps the wind having an effect on that shot there from Preston Kilwine. Vivas switching the point of attack. Watson doing well to shield off his man. He can only handle one player at a time. Now Zahir Vasquez will head this one forward. Benson streaking into the box. Vasquez will take it to the corner. He doesn't have to force anything. Does well there to pass it along the touchline. Not the best of passes from Jose Correa Garcia, but Denver Benson steps in, wins it back for Central Valley. This long ball up. Dangler will come down with it. It'll roll over to the left-hand side. Tormenta leaving more and more bodies forward. 5.5 minutes gone. 4.5 minutes to go. Stretch will pass it to his keeper, Drew Romig. Rodriguez. Now it's Aaron Walker. Ramos. Tormenta has 4 more minutes to go. Ball comes diving in. It's turning into the moment it gets to the boot of someone wearing black. They're just knocking it as far away from their goal as possible. Ball gets sent in, chested down, but too far away from the receiver. Dangler decides to go left with it. Preston Kilwine, who's getting further and further wide as this time is ticking. Ramos heads it back across the center. Caught by Aviles. He'll stay on top of it. Wrench away a couple more seconds. Maybe as promising a moment yet here in the stoppage time for Tormenta. Just over 2 more minutes of the allocated 10 to go. Chris Heckenberg's gonna leave this. And he's gonna get a yellow card for time wasting. Another substitution on the docket for Jermaine Jones. Won't take place yet.
We believe the yellow card was issued to Chris Heckenberg.
Sebastian Vivas brings it down, sends it forward for Rodriguez. He came sliding in and he made some contact. Colliding with one of the defenders in the process, but he's back up on his feet, Omar Lamous. Has took a couple hits in this game. Aviles will run about, take his time, and then punt it up the pitch. 1 more minute left in this one. Romig with Vasquez in his face. Rolls it to Dangler. Dangler plays it up the pitch. Watson's there for it. How many more opportunities are there? 1 or maybe 2 at the most. Challenge from behind from Apollon. Tormenta get a free kick. And now substitution for Central Valley coming in. Teron Williams subs in for Jose Carrera Garcia. Teron Williams just 21 years old. Subbing it for the Mexican vet. So he'll sub on. Jose Carrera Garcia will come off, and we have hit the triple-digit mark. Is there some 100-minute magic in the air for Tormenta, or will Central Valley Fuego hold on? Ball driven in, Vasquez blasts it up into the air, and now a corner kick. Is there one more moment up their sleeve? On the corner kick for Tormenta. Ball tips down. No one gets to it. Ball kept in play. Steedman floats it inside, punched away by Aviles. Headed back into the fray. And there's the final whistle. Central Valley Fuego break back into the race for the League One playoffs. 3 huge points at home, 3 goals at home, and 2 consecutive wins at home. And it was a resilient win for the home team. Down twice, and they responded both times. Down 2 players from Wednesday due to suspension. And we'll cover it all after this break.
Golden Bear Physical Therapy, our goal is to help you reach the best version of you. We specialize in physical therapy, work injury prevention and rehabilitation, athlete training and sports injury, and so much more. So whether you're trying to get back to work or back to practice, call us today and let us help you.
On a Saturday evening where every League One team had their piece of League One fun, Central Valley Fuego close off the night with 3 points as they re-enter the conversation for the League One playoff race. 3-2 your final score. The home side victorious for a second straight game at home. It didn't look like it was going to be good though. Early on in the game, Pedro Fonseca hits the back of the net 6 minutes into the game, giving Tormenta, the road side, a 1-0 advantage. But then Javier Mariona would find his second professional goal and his second goal in the span of a week. Took a little lucky deflection. But after you score a goal, you know that, hey, sometimes you just gotta let it rip. It'll deflect and go your way. You just gotta try your luck sometimes. And here it worked in his favor to make it 1-1, but it would not end there in the first half. Sebastian Vivas would slip by and slide by to make it 2-1 in favor of the visitors, once again in the lead. But Central Valley Fuego would not waver, and coming out of the dressing room, this, probably the best goal of the evening. A beautiful ball, and Acha Isayaya just rises up for it. What a jump that is. And then a nice finish from him. And they would keep their foot on the pedal, applying pressure. And then Siobhan John Brown, hopeful ball inside. No one makes contact with it until it gets past the keeper and at the feet of Denbor Benson. All he has to do is be in the way of the ball and redirect it towards goal. And he's a striker. He knows how to do it. Nice, tidy finish. Wide open goal for him to put it into. 3-2 your final score, and here are your numbers, your full-time stats. 18 shots for Central Valley Fuego. They kept pouring it on. 6 on target for both teams. It was an exciting affair. I mean, you can look at these numbers and go, all right, yeah, that was a pretty fun game. If you missed any of it, you missed some fun. You missed some action from the beginning to the end. All 100+ minutes of it was a good time here. Central Valley Fuego will go on the road next weekend against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Meanwhile, South Georgia Tormenta will go home to play Spokane next weekend. But for our fun action in week 15, for this broadcast, our entire broadcasting crew, we thank you for tuning in. My name is Mark Schutzer. We hope you had a fantastic time tuning into this broadcast. We sure had fun sharing it with you. But with all that being said, we hope you have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next week in USL League One action. Your final score, Central Valley Fuego 3, South Georgia Tormenta 2.
Copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.